welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant. A little croaky there, Dave.
Yeah, Barry. It's Barry's fault. He's making me do that.
I've gotten Dave overthinking himself now.
Yes, absolutely. 384 episodes.
And by the way, Todd is tonight. He's Commander Pleasant.
That's right. Yes.
Don't ask.
Yeah.
Or someone take a screenshot.
Yeah, I'll take a screenshot.
It's Star Trek night, people.
That's right.
We're going to talk about new Star Trek stuff. And other stuff. So, hope everyone's getting their vaccines. There's people who I don't want to get a vaccine. I don't love vaccines, but this is our new thing. Wear a mask still. We'll let you know when you don't have to, and go get a vaccine. There's plenty of them available. Maybe don't get J&J, but you get the other ones.
Yeah, get a vaccine.
Please.
Yeah.
We want to have conventions again, don't we?
That's right.
Yes.
Do it for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Maybe
do it for
they'll
the
have
children.
If you don't do it for yourselves, do it for the 50-year-old children that are hosting this podcast.
Maybe they'll make a vaccine to stop the smell, too, and then it will really be good to go back to conventions.
Could you imagine if there was a shot that big overweight convention-going guys could take that would make them not smell bad?
I think it would really take away from the ambiance. So
It would. It's a total experience.
I would accept that ambiance, that little bit less ambiance.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with it.
Especially depending on the show.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do some random. I've got a number of them, but I'll let Todd go first.
I have one.
I bet he has.
there's a video on Instagram of...
That wasn't it.
Oh, wasn't it?
Well, it is yours. It's
about.
just not the one Dave thought you were going to do.
Oh, okay. Of Oscar Isaac training to be for Moon Knight. And
Yeah, that's the one I had.
it's awesome. Okay. Just it's just really, really good. And, it's just he's doing a lot of his own stunts, or at least appearing like he's doing a lot of it. So,
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know how much you love that character, so I just hope for your sake that it's...
This is my new thing to be disappointed by. So this is my thing that I'm going to cling to until actually, I don't expect to be disappointed. I really don't. It's.
We said that about Falcon and Winter Soldier.
No, I had no fear of being disappointed by that. So, but no.
Good.
Okay. Barry, what do you got?
I'll leave it for you, because I have it on my list too. But I'll go with... I have a couple of others, so I'll go with something else. I know this is not yours. Hasbro announced that they're making a Marvel Legends Eye of Agamotto replica. Did you guys see this?
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, it looks kind of cool.
I saw that.
It looks pretty cool. I mean, I think it's cool because it's got the lights and the Infinity Stone comes out and it's got the base you can put it on. As long as it's not overly expensive, that's a good option. I mean, did you guys buy that one that we saw a couple of years ago at the
We
convention?
have one.
It's licensed.
I never picked that
it's
one
also,
up.
It's a little basic. It doesn't, the stone doesn't come out and whatever like that.
It was $50 or something?
Around there. I would say the necklace part is much nicer and more realistic on ours than the one that the
Hasbro one. If I had any complaint about it, from based on the pictures anyway, not in, I
it's
certainly
a little
haven't seen it in hand.
toyish
The necklace,
in that
the necklace
regard.
looks a little bit like a toy, but
yeah.
I thought it looked pretty cool. I mean, actually, I like that they're going beyond just the helmets, and then now they're, they did the helmet, they did shield.
I think I would pick up the Hasbro one as an everyday wear Eye of Agamotto versus the display one, which I would probably leave at home.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was cool. They announced a whole bunch of other toys that I wasn't interested in, but this one I thought was kind of cool.
There are some really cool action figures coming out. There's some characters they've never done well before that I went through the whole series and looked at them are really, really cool. So,
Cool. Okay, I thought Todd was going to go with, I guess it's a rumor, not substantiated. This Phoebe Waller-Bridge is supposedly co-starring in Indiana Jones 5.
I think it's more than a rumor. I think it was confirmed.
Yep.
My first thought is that kind of scares me. I think I hear she's talented. I know she's done stuff, but she's done comedy. Is it going to be sort of a weird place for her? I don't know.
everything she's done is great. I
She's
am
done two
really
things.
no, seriously. Everything she's done is great.
Fleabag. Did you see Fleabag? I haven't.
I have.
That's not good. Is that
You've seen
what
Killing
that face
Eve.
meant?
You're okay with Killing
I
Eve?
know Killing Eve.
Yeah.
She wrote and whatever.
No, I'm telling you, this woman is amazing. She's done phenomenal in every different bizarre thing that she's done. I was really worried about another Mutt situation, and I think if his protege is someone like this, okay, which you're going to need to do, it takes it in a different direction, and I hope that's the
They're not gonna
case.
Make her the next Indiana Jones. Are
No,
they?
but I'm saying
Indiana Jones.
no, but what I'm saying is this takes it in another direction without looking like they're picking the heir apparent and trying to, and who knows, it's Indiana Jones. He's
I
probably
didn't
got like
love Fleabag, but I will say that I thought that there was a lot of dramatic stuff in there beyond the comedy, and I thought that she's definitely got the acting chops. I don't think that there's a question there.
and
It's
writing
going to be,
chops
to me, it's going to
and-
be the script and how she's used. But
do you think they were like, this Phoebe Waller, Millie Bobby Brown? Who's sort of the new flavor of the month? Let's pick one of those.
You
And
cannot
Millie
put
Bobby
these,
Brown
you
was
can't
like,
put these two people together in the same category.
I don't work with an old dude like Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
No.
so here's
No, I
the
think
weird
it's-
thing:
again,
she became the computer in the Millennium Falcon, and this is Han Solo.
Right.
But that to me is kind of interesting. So I had some other aspects to this story that you didn't mention, so that was part of my random. So they've officially announced July 29th, 2022 is when this movie's
Yes,
coming
that
out.
is correct.
That is less than a year and a half from now. They have not even started filming. But okay,
I would bet they haven't settled a script yet either.
but they've
Yeah,
announced
well,
a
it's
definitive.
not-
I mean, look, all dates are subject to change these days, but they've also said John Williams is going to score the movie. I thought he had retired, but let's just hope that they get a movie on film fast enough for him to score it, because he is not a young man.
Part of me, that dude James Mangold, and we talked about, right? Is
Right.
that his last name? Part of me feels better about that with this guy directing, and nothing against Spielberg. I think Spielberg makes great movies or horrible movies.
1941.
Not even that.
We could
To
go
me,
way later than that.
AI,
Oh, I know, but I'm saying it's like it
Crystal Skull. I
Yeah.
mean, it's there's like no, it's okay. It's either like a train wreck or something.
I almost feel like something
Great.
like Indiana Jones at this point in time is better off in the hand of somebody who has huge appreciation for the subject matter and the source material, but isn't going to be, is going to take it from a fan's perspective and not let Crystal Skull happen again.
this can't be nostalgia laden. Okay, this has got to be a story that works on its own. Okay, I honestly think, like I said, I think bringing in a different character that is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting and have him along for the ride. Basically, he's in this. If they do this right, he's Professor Jones Sr. from Last Crusade.
So Indy was born, according to Indy lore, he was born in 1899, right?
or 1900, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, he's a century
Okay.
baby.
Harrison Ford is 78 years old.
Right.
If they stick with that as his age,
78.
yeah. If they stick with that as his age, it would be 1977.
No.
So does he
It's
go?
going to be.
Does he go see Star Wars?
Decade off it. This
Does
is,
he
No,
go see
it's-
Star Wars in this movie?
yeah. No,
Because
this,
he could.
That's good. I like that. I like that. No, I would bet you this is going to be set in 65 to 68.
We'll see.
65 is almost a safe time before it gets into hippies and all that crap.
Yeah. But I also
Maybe.
think it's an extremely tumultuous time around the world, and is very interesting time. I think, like I said, that time he could pull off 65. It's not the years, it's the
Yeah.
mileage, and yeah, no, I think
All I can
that's
say
the
is
way it
they've
works.
got a lot of work to do in the next year to get this movie out by next summer.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. Ty, you got anything else?
I'm good.
Barry, I have a couple other things.
I
too.
got
Barry,
something
you
else that I
something
know you don't have. This is really very random. But so QMX 1/6 scale Star Trek figures. We've talked about these in the past. The Sulu one was the one that was on the verge of coming out. I think they actually did release some of them, but it's officially canceled. And we know that there's a new company that's taken up that line.
Yeah.
So when I heard that the Sulu was officially canceled, I was like, oh, of course, that makes me think I want one. So I start looking on eBay just to see. So I just wanted to share with you guys what the QMX Star Trek figures are selling for currently, because this was shocking to me.
So they made Sulu.
Sulu came out in very, very small quantities. So these are actual prices that these things have sold for in the last month on eBay. Kirk sold for $550. Spock sold for $400. A set of the two Kirk and Spock sold for $700 together. Scotty has been selling for between $350 and $450. McCoy has been selling for between $450 and $550.
McCoy, who they could not give away 2 years ago.
Right.
And Kirk and Spock were re-released.
Yep.
I have 6 of each.
I'm glad I have one of each of those. I don't have Sulu, but and Picard has been selling for between $100 and $275. And there was a time where he was $99. That's when I bought mine. It was $99. That's the only reason I bought Picard, because they were basically giving them away.
They did a great job with the figures. I got to say, it's just it's too bad they didn't keep going with the other ones they announced. So.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, there was somebody sold a set of the 5 figures with the captain's chair for over $1,300. So
Star Trek stuff is still hot.
yeah, it's amazing. We talked about
That's not that much.
Master Replicas stuff.
The 5 with the captain's chair.
Well, it's over $200 a piece. It's like
Yeah,
They
that's
weren't
not that much.
weren't they like $2.25 a piece?
they were, but like you were saying, there was a
thought they were
time where these things
175.
were selling for below
Yeah.
retail.
No, I see what you're
and
saying. Yep.
those are all
but
open.
the 500 for Kirk is crazy.
$550 for Kirk, and it wasn't even because remember there was an exclusive version where he had the rifle.
Yeah.
This wasn't even that version. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. We talked about the Master Replicas prices and everything, so I just thought I'd share that with you guys. It's kind of crazy.
And that is the cheapest that we will see those.
Probably.
They will go up.
In other Star Trek news, they've announced the next Star Trek. So Paramount came out with a bunch of announcements. I'll get into the other stuff. But the next Star Trek movie set to be released June 9th, 2023.
I assume that was one of our main topic items, but that's
it is? I didn't think it was. Was it?
Well, it's a Star Trek thing, so.
But they haven't said anything about what it is and which crew it is and anything,
Okay,
right?
so just because I did some research here, okay, that is Stardate 76902.4. Just so you know. Anyways.
But we don't even know, is it a Chris Pine movie or is it some
We don't know
other
anything.
cast, right?
We do not know, and there are various interviews with the cast, including Zachary Quinto, who have no idea. So I think this is just like saving a slot. I mean, they've talked about Noah Hawley. They've talked about
Quentin
Quentin
Tarantino.
Tarantino. There's another woman that was going to do it, and those are all supposedly off the table. They floated the 2 Chris's. That's supposedly not happening. Hemsworth and Pine.
But Pine says he wants to do another movie. So he said
does.
in an interview that the entire cast now, can he speak for them? Maybe, maybe not. But he said the entire cast wants to do another movie. So
It'll be like 7 years later. That's crazy.
But you know what? It's time to roll out those Wrath of Khan uniforms. No, but you know what I'm saying? They're
A modern update of those would be cool without those goofy pants.
right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the era is they're creeping up in that 10-year later era. So
well, we would finally get maybe a slightly more mature Kirk too. Not that I haven't enjoyed Chris Pine's portrayal of Kirk, but it would be kind of cool to see him a little bit older, maybe a little more mature.
there's a lot of ways they could go. I actually think they should be getting the band back together, kind of thing. Like have them all be, because if it's 5 to X years later, some of them should be doing other things. But
it could sort of follow that motion picture kind of thing.
Yeah,
That'd be interesting.
So
Yeah, let's make another V'ger movie.
Jesus, please. Just make something original. There's original stuff to be made. We don't have to redo these movies.
Except
oh my God.
the one that did the least was the one that was really it was where they tried to go with a clean sheet of paper, right? I mean,
Beyond.
Beyond was the one that did the.
Well, they only did 2, so I mean.
No, they did 3.
I mean 3. They only
Right.
did 3.
Yeah. So.
I don't know. We will see. All right. Well, let me just hit up Tom Cruise news. Maverick moves again from July to November. Mission Impossible moves from
So that's
November.
a remake of the James Garner series?
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Moves from with Mel Gibson, even though he's a racist. MI7 moves from 11/19 to May 22. I mean, it's like
Jesus.
these movies are like, well, Maverick has been done.
No, I know, but I think that the Mission Impossible is pretty much wrapped too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's literally moving to 14 months from now. I mean, it's crazy.
I got to wait that
And
long
then
to see my
did-
girl Haley Atwell in that movie? That's
I was going to say,
not fair.
it's been so long, people almost don't remember the fake relationship between the two of them. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. And Mantis is in it, too.
Yeah, that's right.
Snake Eyes actually moves up, which is crazy. It was supposed to be in October. It's going to be in July.
But that's also a movie that was supposed to come out last year, so it's been done
Yeah.
this whole time.
So that's Paramount News. You know who else is good and not totally confusing and late on everything?
And available right now instead of being delayed.
That's right. You don't have
Exactly. Fanboy Collectibles. You want something right now? You can get a Galactus Mega Pop. I added the word mega. It's a big 10-inch pop of Galactus.
Big pop.
Blitzway quarter scale Bruce Lee. That looks awesome. There's a Hot Toys diecast Iron Man from Origins.
And I got to say, I don't know nothing about Masters of the Universe, but this tweeterhead Tila looks pretty nice.
Yeah, Tweeterhead knows how to make some women.
They know how to make a female statue.
And for the people who have plenty of room, there's a 43-inch tall Batman Superman Dark Knight Returns diorama. If you got the space, I highly recommend it.
Thank you, Ferris.
Yeah, I know. Check them out, fanboycollectibles.com, online there, and in their store in Newtown, Connecticut. Tell them the regular Joe sent you. Okay, 18 minutes in, and we've talked about nothing. So perfect. We're on perfect schedule.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. Not a ton of info, but there were Star Trek. They had the First Contact Day. That was, I didn't watch any of that stuff. Did you guys?
No.
Yeah.
I'm getting
First
tired of these
Contact-
made-up bullshit days that really
Yeah.
aren't anything, but okay.
Like May the 4th. Are you tired of that one?
No, that's the original.
That's a real one.
That's
the
the
original
OG
made-up day.
yes.
The OG from 5 years
Yes.
ago when they first made it up.
Yeah.
But anyway, First Contact Day is what, April 5th? Anyway, but there were trailers for the next bunch of seasons of Star Trek shows. Some teasers.
Yeah, they were mostly teasers, really.
Yeah. So Picard, season 2, comes in next year, 22. I know we were lukewarm on, first season.
Season
but
1, yeah.
So there's a really good interview with Akiva Goldsmith, who's talking about the whole current slate of shows. He's directing the pilot for Strange New Worlds, but of Picard, he said, and this is a great quote: "If you're going to do a serialized show, you have to know the whole story before you start shooting."
Interesting.
Okay.
Ouch.
That's also true about movie trilogies, just saying.
Yeah,
But
well, again, but still, you have to know the whole story before you start shooting. Wow.
well, didn't they change showrunners midway on that one?
No, that was Discovery.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
I like the character of Jean-Luc Picard, and there were some high spots in that show, but it
There
it
were,
wasn't,
but there was a hell of a lot
There
of
were some low
meandering,
spots.
yeah.
and there was some things and they leaned way into like the sentimental things too much, and I do think they will have learned their lesson. I like the Q idea,
Q's.
Yeah,
they've
so that was
teased
the big
Q.
spoiler.
Mike Stosser,
alert, but
John Delancey will be
in
there.
in the trailer at the very end of it, they hinted at Q, and then you heard his voice.
Well, he even speaks in it's like the Emperor from the Rise of Skywalker.
And the whole thing, the trial is never never ended.
Yes. Yeah.
We need to see Seven kick Q's ass.
Yeah. So
I think I'd like to see that.
Because one of the big issues they've got to deal with is obviously the fact that he's aged just the same way Picard has. He's aged, decades. I think he should show up and they should do the best de-aging they are capable of doing. Far better than they did with Brent Spiner. Maybe even just a screen lift and just insert him in there. Q circa like 1985, whatever. Okay. And then have him look at Picard, have him look him up and down, snap, and be the same age. And that's it. And then just go forward. It's like he totally does it to relate to him.
Towards the end of Next Gen, they were putting pancake makeup on John Delancey just to make him look like Q.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. I mean, I go into every one of these series, every one of these seasons, like with high hopes and positive hopes, and I was disappointed with a lot of it. So I'm really looking forward to Strange New Worlds. We're not really talking about that one tonight, but
we will. Yeah, we'll get there.
Well, they didn't really show anything new on that.
No, but I mean, there's still some. Yeah.
So we'll see. Picard. I mean, Q could definitely add a new element to it, but who knows? Then the Discovery season 4. I think again we were lukewarm on season 3, right?
And season 2,
2 and 1. I don't know. We were a little bit. I didn't get much. I didn't get much out of it other than they got a big new threat and they have new uniforms that are in the color scheme, which is exciting.
Yeah, that was better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like there's now color in the future of the future. Whereas they went from like everyone's wearing gray to it was like this is like the motion picture Wrath of Khan transition. It's like all of a sudden, let's feel good about being Starfleet again. We'll put colors back on, and it also makes it appear like some time has passed from the end of the previous, the third season, which I think would be not a bad thing. So.
For me, it felt like the whole second season was this whole Red Angel bullshit, and they had to get to the future. And then the whole third season was this, getting acclimated into the future and winning Starfleet's respect and all that. I really hope this fourth season is just, there's a threat, and
let's have some missions.
Yeah,
let's do a mission. Let's do something.
It doesn't always, and it doesn't have to be an arc from... episode 1 to episode 14 or whatever. It doesn't have to be one single arc.
It totally doesn't. I don't know. People love that, and I don't know.
Yeah, I have the feeling we're going to see an arc because they're making such a big deal out of Strange New Worlds being episodic. No one talks about that show without talking about it being episodic. And so...
Like, that's the big invention here. Like, that's
but what I'm saying
is...
And that is what... Interestingly, it's what when you see interviews with, the cast, they all said that was what they were interested in. That's what they said they wanted to come back to do. We'll see. Even if it's semi-episodic, if there's little threads that go between the connecting tissue.
I don't mind that. It's just the it would be nice. For
drawn out,
and for there to be a little bit of space between the when every week is just building on the last week, there's never any room to breathe for the characters. And Star Trek, some of the best Star Trek is when they have that breathing room, and it's more
absolutely
the characters stuff.
It also felt like, and I've said this before, but I felt like last season, it felt like the season where they had to check all these boxes, and we had to shoehorn all these characters in. Yeah. We had to take the least qualified person and make them second in command for really no apparent reason other than to make her feel good. And it was just like it was like a big ass therapy session.
Well, and then the very heavy-handed inclusivity stuff, which I'm
again,
all for it,
just,
but it was just
seemed
overly heavy-handed. So
there's ways of working things in without all of a sudden dropping everything on the table at the same time and saying, "Oh, yes, this is what we are now."
Well, and when Star Trek has done that kind of stuff best, it's when it's like it's when it's been a little bit more like weaved into the thread of it and not like hitting you over the head with it with a hammer. So.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's just like we're here. We're gonna do something now. Not the finding, looking, getting.
They've proved
this
themselves.
is our job. Let's just do it.
They've already proved
and
themselves. So now it's
done that at all.
It's now that you've proved yourself, do something good. Don't just constantly feel like you've got to prove yourself.
Yeah, justify the 3 seasons of Prelude.
Yeah,
and
longest build up in television history.
Yep, longest ever. And now let's actually get down to it.
Yeah.
So
also Lower Decks season 2. I know you guys liked it better than me, but they showed the trailer. I think Riker's in it.
Yeah, Riker and Troy are in it again, which was great. Because one of the main characters went off at the end of last season to be on the ship with Riker. So
yes.
Oh, I may not have watched that, but that's coming in August actually.
Yeah.
August 12th. So that's.
I got to be honest.
away.
Of these 3 shows that they put previews out for, that was the one I was most excited about.
It's
interesting.
Yeah, right. Of the upcoming stuff, it is the thing I'm second most excited for. Obviously, Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, I'm not even
what
including
I'm saying
that.
But yeah, no, I ended up really liking the show, and I do think it got better as it went along, and I think they did some clever stuff. And if they just follow the tone and follow the bent of the end of the season versus the first, I think it could be good.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they got their footing and now it's just going to continue where it left off and not kind of have to regroup
less
again.
frantic. If they could do that, if I could put in a request for less frantic.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I watched all the trailers on Paramount Plus's website, but Picard had the most views. Discovery was second, and Lower Decks was third. And not that means anything, but
that makes sense to me.
I
think that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I have no idea if it's related in any way, but there's a bunch of rumors out this week that the Star Wars Detour show that was done, that did 50 episodes of it and never released because it happened right around the time of the sale from Lucas to Disney. They're rumoring that might actually hit Disney Plus now, and they're saying it might even be like a surprise for May 4th. And I wonder if seeing that Star Trek could be done in a completely off-the-wall animated way maybe made Disney feel more comfortable that, all right, this show that we've been sitting on, maybe it can... Because it is pretty irreverent for Star Wars. It really does not take itself seriously at all from the previews I've seen of it. So that could be fun. Because there's like 50 episodes of it in the can, literally 100% complete.
Cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That could be. Yeah, they got to come up with something because...
Well, it's rare that you buy something as big as Star Wars and you've got that many episodes of something that you decide, nope, we're not going to release this. So, but that was Lucas's. He just paid for it himself, so he just kept producing it and was not worried about where it would land. He just assumed it would land somewhere. And anyway,
yeah.
You wanted to talk about Strange New Worlds, Todd?
No, I was going to say I mentioned last week about how Janeway was going to be in Prodigy, and she was going to be an emergency training hologram. But interestingly, Prodigy takes place 5 years after Voyager, which is a weird place to be in the timeline.
So they would have converted her very quickly into a hologram?
Well, no, could have been something that was recorded at any point. But I'm saying that's a kind of an interesting placement because that's like right about the time of the death of the Romulan son and stuff like that. But it just seems like an odd time with where other things are happening.
Have they said officially that this is going to be canon, or does this maybe not need to fit into that? Because it is a Nickelodeon show. It's not.
When is that premiering? Did they say? I don't know. So, anyways,
it feels like that's going to be the what was that bad terrible animated Star Wars show, Star Resistance. It feels like this is going to be the Star Wars Resistance of Star Trek. Like, it's a total kids show. It's made for a kids network.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, I it's not something I'm super interested in. I will check it out, but it's I've seen every Star Trek episode of everything. So, oh god, I gotta.
That means you have to watch it, Todd.
Oh my god,
that's the way I feel about Star Wars. I had to watch Resistance, even though I didn't
I will
want
have to watch this.
Did you watch it? Wasn't there some weird kids show that was even worse than that?
No, that was the weird kids show.
It was the weird kids show.
It was?
Yeah, you're thinking of the other one, the one with Ezra. What the hell was the name of that show?
Oh,
Rebels.
Yeah,
Rebels. You're thinking of Rebels,
which was actually ended up being really good.
Ended up being really good. Yeah.
So
yeah, I think the Ewok Adventure is coming to Disney Plus.
It's on. It's on Disney Plus.
Oh my god.
They released the 2 Ewok made-for-TV movies, the Ewok Adventure cartoon series, and the cartoon of Boba Fett from the holiday special. That's all on Disney Plus now. Droids they haven't released yet.
Interesting.
There's a theory on that because
there's
they announced
a lot of homoerotic references.
Yeah. Well, if you remember when they did that big Star Wars announcement a couple months back, they announced a Droids animated thing. Yeah. So some people are thinking maybe they'll hold that until that other thing's available, so that there's not a confusion. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. In that same, again, I suggest you find that article by Akiva Goldsmith. It's very, very interesting. He's a co-showrunner of Strange New Worlds. He's directing the pilot. He's done a lot of really cool things, including Fringe, which I liked. And but one of the things he said that they've made slight modifications to the uniforms and the ship to be more in keeping with to be more evocative of the original series. So he said that this was in Discovery. What you saw of the Enterprise was just necessary to tell the story where it overlapped with Discovery. He said they approach things very differently. It is its own thing. And he says, and when they had to move forward with things, they went, they tried to go evocative of what, had gone before. So
I'll be curious to see that, because I really do like that Enterprise design, but if they found ways to keep it but make it a little bit more true to the original design.
He was talking about spaces we haven't seen.
So not the exterior of the ship then.
No, I think he's talking about interior space, and he's talking about things that we haven't seen. So I would bet you, we may see cabins, and we may see like the briefing room and stuff like that.
The bathroom behind the bridge.
The bathroom behind the bridge.
From the blueprints.
No one knows how to get that door open.
Or maybe the medical lab. We didn't really see that, did we?
Again, there's a number of things, and I think it's yeah.
Do we know when that premieres?
We do not.
Don't think they've announced it yet, but I'm hoping it's this year.
You think it's this year? They already have. Well, they won in an animated one, and the other one is 20. The Prodigy is 21 also.
Yeah, if it's not this year, I've got a prediction when it's going to premiere, and I think it's going to be April 2020. 2022.
April 5th, First Contact Day.
No,
now that's
I think
a
it's
real
going
holiday.
to be the Mission Chicago. I think they're going to tie it. They're going to hold back till they have that.
You think? Mission Chicago, I don't think is that big of a deal because they always do the big convention is Las Vegas every year.
Well, I'm looking at an article on TechRadar, and it's saying that they haven't announced a date, but they say the earliest, obviously makes sense, the earliest we'd see it is the second half of 2021. So, yeah, it's probably early 22.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So this Mission Chicago is that the thing? We went to Mission New York?
We went to Mission New York, yeah.
Oh, and this is the second one 5 years later?
I guess so.
Interesting.
5-year mission.
But there's always a big Las Vegas convention.
But that's a kind of a constant thing. And this is I think that they're already hyping this up as the first really big Star Trek convention.
And when's that? April? That's April next year?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can we get that pizza with the meat on it? We went to that place?
I think we probably could.
That was the place Capone ate, right? Yeah, that place was great.
Yeah. That was crazy. Let me get pizza with just the most crazy stuff on it. We had a couple good meals at that
I think we need to
Chicago.
I think we need to plan for this. So
I'm in.
In. Okay. So Any other Star Trek news? I haven't read it yet. There is a Wand Company update number 3. I don't know that we need. Did you guys read it?
I haven't read it yet either. I know it came out because I think you said it. You actually mentioned it came out as we were recording last week.
While we were recording last week, and I still haven't read it, so that's bad. But they're selling. Anovos is selling the Star Trek Discovery rifle for $2,000.
Oh,
offering. Maybe more the term to use.
Well,
did their Discovery phaser ever come out? The $500 one?
Oh yeah, they had like 6 phases of it.
But have you seen like anybody like with it in hand talking about it, like on the RPF or anybody?
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do we know that it actually exists? I've never seen one.
It exists. Now there were some that were shipping like right away, depending on the phase the phase you bought.
I don't know.
That's a lot.
I've seen a couple resellers that have it up for sale, but it's always like 3 months out. So I think they're making them to order.
So we'll see. Interesting.
I'm perfectly happy with my $25 one. So.
Oh yeah, you got that one.
Yep.
We have the Sean.
I got the one that Sean 3D printed.
Yeah, happy with that one. Okay. That's it for Star Trek news. Boy, we're running short here, people.
We haven't done a short show in a long time. I'm okay if we wrap it up now.
Let's tick off a couple more things here.
Fine. But we're just touched briefly. So Falcon and Winter Soldier, episode 4. There's 2 left.
A little more action in episode 4 than we had gotten in episode.
I thought this was the best episode so far.
Yeah,
me too.
Here's the thing. I'd be fine with this if it was 12 episodes. If we were having this sort of slow burn and it was 12 episodes, I'd be like, okay. But it's 6 freaking episodes, everybody. Like, what the hell? But this one I thought was good. It had a lot going on.
This one was better, I thought. Yeah.
Pushing the story forward. Spoilers, Kurt Russell's kid is lost it. Love that. Captain America.
Yeah, that sequence with the shield was awesome.
I said, I don't know if I wrote this to you guys, but, as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, could they have, made him actually heroic? Could they have actually made him worthy and then had him get whacked? And then, they take the shield back so that they don't give it to the next guy in line and have the same thing happen? I mean, they telegraphed from minute 1 that this guy was going to basically turn into an idiot or a jerk or an asshole or whatever. And it's like, yeah.
But he was already turning into that before he took
That's
the
what
serum.
I'm saying. It's like they couldn't have just. I don't know. That's one of probably my biggest criticism with the show is there've been a few good bits. I like the Wakandans in this. I love when they they basically disconnected Bucky's arm and he had no idea they could do that.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I liked the callback to Bucky's basically deprogramming. I thought that was good.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
I mean, that actually felt worthy of a post-credit sequence kind of thing, where you could just see that where he was going. But again, the show is so freaking predictable. When Sam went in to talk to that woman, and as soon as he started to relate with her, I said, "Oh yeah, the faux Captain America is going to come in and ruin this," and then they cut to faux Captain America telegraphing that he's going to come in and ruin it, and it was like, really?
I will say I appreciated that they didn't have the scene of him taking the serum, like that. You at least had that 1/2 second where you're like, did he or didn't he? And then I also felt
it was cool. Yeah,
I felt like that the shot of the shield with the blood that felt just like a comic book splash page to me. I thought
yes,
a really well done shot.
Yep.
And, again, spoiler, the fact that they killed
Battlestar
Bullet Man or whatever his name is,
Battlestar.
Sergeant America.
That was pretty good.
I actually liked that they named him Battlestar. I thought that was a funny.
How many times have we seen
human
beings thrown against something and live?
All the
Batman
time. Yeah.
in Batman versus Superman or Justice League, and no, you get thrown into a pillar like that, you die. That's just what happens.
It's a very high likelihood, yes, that even with some really good body armor, you're not going to make it. So,
yeah, and not everybody gets Tony Stark to build a whole endoskeleton for them so that they can walk and whatever. So
Yeah.
But I think this guy's doomed to be failure. If someone came to you and said you can be Captain America, let's say we were actually in good shape and younger, and they came to you, the answer is no. There's one Captain America. I'm not going to be Captain America. You got to be kind of an asshole to say yes to that.
Or you buy into the whole, we need this figure, we need this kind of it's evocative of the country and a symbol and all this kind of stuff. But he doesn't treat it that way. He picks up the shield and goes like he earned
He's
it.
like, no, I am Captain America now.
Exactly.
I earned this.
And again, in the previous episode, he's pissed off with that guy, for not, for basically disrespecting the shield. And it was like, dude, earn it.
And the funny thing, when they were going in to, I think when they were going into the meet, here's the this is Battlestar's on point. You're the dude with the shield, and you got your partner in front with no shield, and you let him go first. What's wrong with you?
Somebody's got to taste the soup before the king eats it.
Well, you got to taste the lead.
I don't know. I do. Getting back to what you were saying, in real life, if this was any of this was real, you would think that they would be like, well, we need a symbol, but it doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be named Captain America, and he doesn't have to have that shield. They could have like in the comics, he was called U.S. Agent, right? He wasn't Captain America.
Oh no. Right. Yes, that is absolutely true. But he did. Yeah.
It could be. Why couldn't it be the Captain America Corps? And there's a bunch of them, and they are not him.
But the thing is, they wanted this to be a failure.
Oh yeah, the government.
And they wanted it to make it obvious that one of the two of them has to pick up the shield. It's going to be Falcon, and I mean, it's just that they're the whole.
Well, but I don't think
obvious.
the government wanted it to fail.
No, I'm saying the writers of the show needed to make it so clearly obvious.
If the government felt like they needed a new symbol for hope and freedom and all that, the main reason Captain America was so successful at what he did was because he had the serum. I mean, it amplified who he was, of course, but he had super abilities. This guy was just trained really well. He's never going to be able to be a replacement Captain America.
Except that a lot of what Cap was a symbol. Okay? And it's I guess I understand the idea behind it. It was poorly executed.
But he's symbolic on one level, but part of that is because he's successful on missions. He did all those things, and he continued to do those things.
The government is wrong. I mean, like they have been other
so just imagine, just think for a second about the deal this guy got. It's okay, you're going to be Captain America, but we're not going to give you a super soldier serum because we don't have any of that. Oh, by the way, all these other people have a super soldier serum. We're going to send you after them. Okay? So, just kind of wing it.
You're like, thanks, but no thanks.
But we are going to give you the shield, and it's unbreakable, even if you're not. Except that one time when it got broken. But go ahead.
This was conceived during the last presidency, I think. Yeah. It sounds very Space Force, New Captain America, Warp Speed. Yep. That all sounds like this came out of the last
I did like regime. The way the Wakandans were like, I think we should take the shield back. They're like, yeah, that's our vibranium.
Well, that's the other thing. There's one shield. Guess what? There's a ton of vibranium out there now. There's not one shield. And I'm a little pissed off that it looks, even though there's one shield, it looks different.
Yeah, they definitely changed the design of it.
Yeah, again, one shield, but there was 30% of its mass left. So
no, because he went back and got the old shield, right?
Did he?
When he went back, when he gave Bucky the shield, or Falcon the shield, he brought it back from the past with him.
Don't think too much about this, because if that's the case,
and what happened to real Steve Rogers when fake Steve Rogers was there?
He left Capsicle behind in that timeline, still frozen, while he was making time with Peggy, who is not actually his Peggy.
And
right,
was he Captain America in the past? But that has to be the shield. There's no way the shield was repaired, right? He came back with the shield. Wait, did he leave with it? I don't remember.
No, he didn't leave with it.
No, he didn't? I thought he did.
No,
I don't know. We're all old men. I thought he left with it on his back. But
no, he had the hammer. He had... Yeah.
The stones. His hands full. He couldn't carry the shield, too.
No, he came back earlier, had the Wakandans rebuild the shield, and gave that to Sam. Or picked it up at the shop where he'd left it roughly 40 years before. Unfortunately, they didn't have one of those signs that if you don't pick it up, in 90 days, it's.
But who has the technology to even repair vibranium other than the Wakandans?
The Wakandans. Yeah, I mean, they had to have done it.
I think he went back. So there's no Captain America in that timeline.
Oh, there absolutely is a Captain America, and that's what I'm saying. He's still
frozen in the tundra.
He's still a Capsicle. He knows
and he has
out
the shield.
there, and he lets him. He just lets him sit there.
Then why did he go unfreeze him, take the shield, and then freeze him back up?
This is what I'm saying. It's like he unfroze him, took the shield, said, "Hey, buddy, have at it. I need this for somebody else." Really? Seriously?
But he could have gone everywhere. He could have gone to Steve's apartment right before the Winter Soldier showed up, grabbed the shield. It was just sitting there while he was somewhere else. That's the time I would have gotten it.
Yep. He goes out after Bucky, and all of a sudden he opens a little bag, and he's got a trash can lid. It's like, yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
But this episode was pretty good. And it's interesting. There's a lot of sort of talk. I haven't watched the episode 5 teaser, but there's a lot of talk about it on the internet and stuff, and I'm trying to avoid.
I haven't watched
stuff.
it yet either.
Supposedly, someone's going to make an appearance.
I think it's Red Skull. We've established Red Skull showing up in one of these shows at some point.
We're just going to keep trying because we're next going to theorize he's in Loki. He's in Loki.
Ooh, he's definitely in Loki.
Yeah, there's no question.
Anyway,
we shall see.
We'll see all that. I'm not making any predictions about this.
I've been thinking a lot about this, probably more than I should. But do you realize neither of these guys, other than Bucky's flashbacks, have ever had their own scenes before? They have always literally been sidekicks. Okay? They have always been either an antagonist or in a scene with Cap. So,
well, it turns out there's a reason for that, because when they give us scenes of them by themselves, it's about shrimp boats.
Frankly,
and
not
banks.
that interesting. Okay, and that's what I'm saying. But here's my point: is it's not that different with Wanda and Vision, but they use that time to give dimension to their characters, and make them more, flesh them out from what they were. Here, they just seem to be like kind of walking through it. We don't really know anything more about either of these two guys.
I feel like they fleshed out Bucky a little bit more in this. I just don't feel like they have.
I think
Falcon.
In this episode they fleshed out Bucky with the thing.
But this is four of 6 episodes at this point.
Oh, I know.
Okay? And that's where I'm saying they went wrong. They maybe still have time to correct this a little bit more. But think about this. The only Sam, and I think this is the case, I think the only scene that Sam had that wasn't supporting Cap
was with Ant-Man.
In Ant-Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think every other scene he had was backing up Cap.
Right, but even there, he was basically the punchline for all of the Paul Rudd Ant-Man jokes.
Right?
Yeah, but what about when Cap went to go see him when he was sort of mentoring soldiers? That was more of a Sam scene, and that's sort of what he brought into this episode.
But if Cap didn't go there, you never would have seen that scene. And if Tony didn't ever go to see him in prison, you wouldn't have seen him in prison.
Yeah, well, they're sidekicks.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the way they are.
So this was a probably a bigger lift than we imagined trying to get the two of these into,
It shouldn't have been.
Well,
there's plenty there.
Again,
There's
I think the goal is to put the shield in one of their hands, Falcon, and they had to do something beyond just a tack on at the end of the movie to make that feel right.
I'm going to be really curious to see, assuming that it does go that way, and you're right. Does Falcon lose the wings to use the shield, or is he going to have wings and a shield? Because that feels like a lot.
Wings. He's going to lose the wings. The wings are going to get fragged.
He's going to be a regular dude.
But then how do you call him Falcon?
I have no idea, but I'm telling you, it's how at this point, after doing the Isaiah Bradley thing, after doing the street stop with the police, do you give the shield to the white guy? You can't do it. I'm telling you. There's no way that he's not going to.
Maybe they don't resolve it in this series, and it gets resolved in a future film.
Very possibly, but I'm telling you, this will end with him the shield back.
Well, I'm not saying I want Bucky to have it either, because Bucky's already got super soldier serum and
Bucky
arm,
doesn't need it.
But one of the I like that they've got a character who flies around. He's got the jetpack and he's got the drone, and I mean, he's got his thing already. Not that you can't change a character's thing to something else, but
unless he gives that to somebody else. But we haven't met anyone else.
But he doesn't have any superpowers either. That's the thing. His superpower is his ability to use the jetpack.
Early on, I thought like the kid, Torres, the guy that he met, in the first episode.
Oh yeah,
I was wondering whether he was going to get handed off the wings, and
they could bring him back,
and he was going to use, but he kind of was on a phone call and then not seen again. So.
But I still don't get a captain or whoever with the shield with no. You're just a dude with a shield. You don't even have your
until we got all this super soldier serum crushed. I thought he was going to get dosed with that, and we don't know for certain that all remaining 14 vials.
There always seems to be more somewhere. Like every time they think it's all gone, they find more.
There's 2 more episodes. I mean, it's yeah.
And we don't know if this is one season or
one
two,
of the other things
more.
I did like. I liked that Zemo's impulse was exactly what he said. He was, his impulse was to destroy that, and that's what he believed in. If he all of a sudden grabbed that, wanted to sell it or do whatever like that, it would have been really off-brand. And I think his goal was to destroy that, and he did. But yeah, again, I think it's better. It's incrementally better. They really got to deliver 2 solid episodes.
Absolutely. The next episode 5 is supposedly more than an hour. I think I heard that online.
I went back last week and rewatched what I slept through in episode 3. So just so that I could say I'd seen all of it.
Yeah.
Boy, I haven't fallen asleep through anything since Foxfire in 1982.
No, that's not true. We all fell asleep in G.I. Joe movie.
I did not.
Just me, Todd, and Daryl fell asleep then?
Yep.
That's what happens when you see a movie at midnight and you're old.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that. I
Anyway,
remember
okay.
sitting next to Daryl, waking up, being embarrassed that someone might have seen me falling asleep during that movie and discovering that Daryl was snoring. So it was
Yeah. Okay. So Star Trek, let us know what you think. I know what most people think, but we'll see. Next week, we don't know. Something.
Todd, did you just want to... you had a couple thoughts on Invincible you wanted to cover?
Yeah. Watch it.
I thought we were doing that not next week, but okay.
Well, are you going to watch any more of it, Dave?
No.
Then there's no point in waiting. We might as well talk about it now.
So let's
Fine.
just go in quick.
We got 5 minutes.
5.5 minutes.
Yeah. Watch Invincible. It's giving, just kind of... I will say, I really like the show. I am not surprised that I like the show. It is incredibly faithful to the book it's based on. I think they changed. It's much more linear, but I think they're doing a really good job with it. I always like these characters. I like how they're portraying them. I think they did great. They did some great casting.
All from Walking Dead.
Not
A
all
lot of
from
them,
Walking
yeah.
Dead.
A lot of them, but not all.
Yeah, no, that was mostly the first episode. But I mean, Sandra Oh and J.K. Simmons, it's Stephen Yeun. Obviously, it's like I said, I like it a lot. It may be too faithful to the original material, but
in this case, and I've said it 1,000 times, it's my absolute all-time favorite comic book series ever. And I'm not disappointed at all in the way they've translated it to television, which I was a little dubious about, just because, you know, and I'm glad that it's animated, and I know they are still planning a live-action version of this thing, but I don't know how you do that. Maybe with today's technology, it could be good, but I was a little nervous that it wasn't going to live up to how much I love this story and these characters, and they've exceeded my expectations of what they could do in an animated series. So I'm happy about that. I know one of our friends hated it, which I was a little surprised by. But anyway, I won't call them out. They know who they are.
That's
we
good
texted
because
about
I
it.
would just have to cross that person off my list of friends.
Yes,
but
yeah, I love it, and I agree. It's been faithful in all the right ways, and they've deviated where it makes sense to, and it's fun. It's a fun show.
It's fun. And
can I ask why that dude did what he did at the end of the first episode? What's that all about?
You got to keep watching.
I'm not watching. Who gives a shit? Come on.
This comic book's been out for 15 years. It's no
okay.
spoiler.
So let's just put it this way:
he's not a good guy.
The current trend with the most superpowered guy, okay,
it's Homelander.
It's Homelander. It's Superman. It's
Superman.
You know,
it's
absolute power. You know, so you might say it's absolute power corrupts absolutely, but I would say it more like this: everything Lex Luthor feared about Superman, okay, Omni-Man is the realization of that. So,
right, but what I will say is, you know, his race of people were sent to other planets to basically help protect them, but also kind of conquer.
Oh, I don't think there was much help. There was much protecting there.
But protection through conquering.
Right.
He was supposed to come here, conquer the Earth, and instead he met a woman, fell in love with her, and defended the Earth for quite a while. Now that he's got a son who's got superpowers, he's thinking that the two of them together can, you know, basically it's the Darth Vader and Luke, come with me and rule the galaxy. He's thinking that they can, you know, together we're going to rule this place. And he, you know, nobody knows that. And he's, you know, there's an interesting back and forth right now because you've got him being a bad guy and doing things that we're seeing him do. But his son still idolizes, looks up to him, thinks he's the greatest. He's like so happy that he finally has something in common with his dad. And he's ultimately going to find out, and I don't know if it'll be in this season or not, but he's going to find out that his dad's a really bad guy.
Oh, it'll be the end of the season. And it's yeah.
I mean, in the comic books, the two of them have some unbelievably brutal battles together.
Yes, yeah. And I will say, this is incredibly gory. I mean, it's just like, this is probably some of the most realistic superhero fighting we've ever seen. Because if you're super powered and you punch somebody, you are going to like punch through them. And that's kind of what we saw.
And you're just going to be able to grab them and rip them in half
and twist their heads around.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's yeah. You know, they did very much like in the comic. They set up the analog to the Justice League and then just brutally destroyed them. And yeah, it's
why did he pick then to do it? Just because he had a kid who now has an ally he thinks to take over?
Yeah, there's more to the story.
Okay, that's fine. I don't care.
I don't want to totally spoil it, but
I will say they have one thing I did notice, because Adam Eve is one of my all-time favorite female characters. The way that she's drawn, the storylines, they have definitely toned her down a bit.
What do you mean toned her down, Barry? Go there because everybody else is talking about it.
She's not nearly as bodacious on the show as she is in the comic book.
So anyways, there's like huge threads online with people complaining that they have downsized her breasts.
Oh, are they? I didn't realize.
Oh yeah, no, it's a big topic
noticeable,
online.
but
It's like
it doesn't
I
feel.
tried to look up like see how people were receiving the series, and 1 out of 3 comments about the series is why did they make her boobs smaller? It's like really
because it's a show and it's not a comic book. I don't have a problem with it. I'm saying it's a note. If you know the character, it's a noticeable difference.
Yeah, it's. I'll also say I think she's a great character. They're doing a good job with it. They've tweaked some characters, not so much her, but the one character who has been altered not the slightest bit, to my great joy, is Monster Girl, and I love Monster Girl. So
well, and Robot pretty much looks exactly the way he looks.
Robot's perfect.
And Zachary Quinto's voice is I mean, he's
great.
Basically doing Spock, but it's perfect.
I hear it in my head. I mean, it's just like when it's like I'm rereading the comic, and it's like it's perfect. But so Monster Girl is a woman who every time she turns into a huge kind of ogre-like monster, who's very powerful, very brutal, kind of Hulk-like, but every time she does it, it basically de-ages her about a week. So she started out at like 24 years old. Now she's about 12.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, there was a great scene in this last episode where they were all handing out beers and somebody wanted to hand her one and they looked at her and she's like, I'm 26.
It's like, yeah. So, and it's also a great line where she just destroys one of the characters who's a complete jerk.
Oh,
and,
Rex, yeah.
Just tears him down and like makes reference to his penis size. And it's just like, she like helps him up and says, "Oh, it's okay. I'm sure your junk is fine." It's just like
it's well done.
It was not unlike watching Kick-Ass for the first time. So, yeah.
So check it out if you haven't checked it out. It's not my thing, but I'm not an animation guy. I just cannot get into animation. Yep. I don't know why.
You're also not all that much of a comic guy.
No.
You like the stories based on comics, but you don't read comics on a regular basis.
I used to.
Yeah.
I don't really anymore. No. But don't hold that against me, people.
Yep.
So let us know if you're watching and what you think. We know what one person thinks, but Todd won't be friends with you anymore.
I'll tell you who it is after the show.
Would we know that from Facebook, right? That's
yeah,
because Todd
doesn't know.
Todd doesn't read Facebook.
Todd doesn't go on
know.
Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's getting worse and worse. It's like
it really is.
It's just ads and ads and ads. Instagram is still the most enjoyable. It's still the most. While there's ads, it's still the most sort of normal.
Which is owned by Facebook, so it's interesting that they've kept them so separate.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good.
I honestly, in all honesty, I still hold Facebook responsible for the 2016 election, and I could never get past that. So.
I heard the Russians.
I thought it was the Russians.
No, well, we'll talk. But
so you could see a Facebook ad and make the biggest mistake in human history. Anyway, that's for another show.
Apparently, certain people can be.
No, if that's all you're shown,
refer back to why they picked the new Captain America. This is the last presidency. Anyway, with that, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.